What's good? It's your boy Lyrics 559 podcast, and I hope you guys are having a great one today. Yeah, I'm having a good one, man. I don't know what day it is right now, because you could be listening to this segment Saturday, on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You know what I'm saying? Any of those days, and whatever day it is, man, I hope you guys are having a good one, man. Today's been pretty decent for me, man. I ain't gonna lie, But last weekend was dope. I mean, the weekend that just passed was dope. My dad just got a citizenship. Yeah, citizenship, man. Been here since 1953. And I said, hey, let's get our citizenship, man. You want to do it? He's like, yeah. And then people ask me, like, why did it take so long for him to do it? I asked him, and he said because he worked a lot. And so it was time. I was like, 89 years old, man. We setting goals, guys. We're setting goals. I told my dad, are you ready to do this? He said, yeah, let's do it. I said, okay. Hey, they gave him a little American flag, man. He gave it a kiss, name of the cross and everything. Big old smile on his little face, man. Hey, it was beautiful. I cheered up, man. 89 years old, man. He's home. This is where he wants to be. This is him, man. Like, he paid his taxes, you know what I mean? He worked hard. Congratulations, my dad, man. Margarito Nungaray, man. Definitely. Also, man, I just wanted to let you guys know it's April. Autism awareness, man. Autism. This is the month of autism, man. And so I'm doing something with Rooted Nutrition, man, where you could buy my book, the book that I illustrated and wrote, and then you could buy the tea, right, for $25. I mean, if you go on my Amazon, I sell the book for $20 anyway, but we're gonna do a deal, man. $25 for the book and the tea. Money is going towards George's Pass. That's gonna be with Valley Children's Hospital. That's where we're donating money. That's where we're gonna donate the money. That's right, we're giving back. Let's go. Today's segment's gonna be dope, man. I get to interview this dude, man. Y tú, quien eres, man. It's the homie, man. He's funny, man. On TikTok, YouTube, man. There were some people, man, that used to say things about this individual, right? And he'll clap back. He'll clap back, man. You don't want him to clap back. You don't want it. He'll make you cry. I'm telling you, don't say nothing negative about this individual, man. He'll put you in your place. I'm telling you. Anyway, man, I'm excited to get him on, man. Let's just bring him on, man. What's cracking, hitter?
Hey, what's up, Lyrics?
What's going on, my boy? How are you, man?
I'm good. Just chilling.
Yeah, did you have a good day today?
Yeah, it was crazy, but good. Just the usual.
Yeah. No, I feel it, man. I feel it. Either way, just you're here, you're on, man. I'm excited to get you on, man. And shout out to Lady Pinks for hooking it up, man, for connecting the dots. Yeah.
Not Lady Pinks. Don't you mean Lady Perps?
Lady Perps. I'm sorry. My bad. Hey, man. Oh, man. Hey, you know what? I'm not going to even erase this, dog. I'm going to keep this on, man. I'll let her beat me up later when she comes to Bakersfield, bitch. Hey, I don't know. She don't like her, does she? I don't know. Who cares? Hey, my bad. My bad.
Fine.
Shout out, man, to Perps, man. Awesome, man. She's an awesome woman, man. I love her testimony, man, and everything about her. The clothing line, 10 toes down, man. That, man, yeah.
Yeah, that part. She's fucking crazy, man. She's good people, though. She has a good heart. You don't run across too many people with good hearts like her, you know what I mean? She's a righteous one.
Yeah, definitely. I think she says she's from Bakersfield, too, huh?
Lawndale, but she moved to Bakersfield and was living out there for a cool minute. But yeah, born and raised in Lawndale.
That's right. And then, how do you guys know each other, brother?
How do I know her? So she's my man's cousin. She's my man's cousin. So yeah, her dad is her mom's brother and sister. They're brothers and sisters. So biologically cousins and stuff. That's how I met her.
Oh man, that's what's up. Man. And you're from?
I'm from downtown LA, like Pico Union and 12th Street, as a matter of fact. Like by MacArthur Park, Skid Row, downtown LA, 18th Street, Burlington, La Mara, like all in that fucking shithole neighborhood.
See, I'm not even from there, bro, because I live out here. But when you say like 18th Street, man, and this, and I was like, oh, he lives in the hood. He's
bro,
out there.
it's just crazy because like one block is this hood, the next block is that hood, and then the next block is the other hood. Like they're so, you gotta take different blocks just to stay safe, right? You know what I mean? But they're so close together, you know?
Right. Dang, that's crazy, man. How do you like living out there, man?
How do I like living? Wait, I don't live there no more. I live in Arizona now, but yeah. I left the neighborhood like when I was fucking 19 years old.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, there's still people that are so hung up and like Pico Union this, bro. I'm glad to have made it out because I never thought I was gonna leave LA. I thought I was gonna die in that neighborhood. You know what I mean? And like, for the longest time, like I thought, like I welcomed the idea, like I was okay with dying out there, you know.
Right.
You know, that's the problem. Like, we grow up thinking that there's no other life out there, you know, and there's just so much more to fucking life. So much.
Yeah. So you think that everybody who's like from where you're at, like it has to gang bang? They all have to be gangsters, or is it hard just to be neutral?
I think it's,
or is it?
Yeah, I think it's so like it's so much easier to get sucked into the life, right? Like I think you're like a product of your environment a lot of the times, right? Not saying that everybody that lives in those neighborhoods,
right,
you know, choose that path, you know, because there's some people out there that are smart, you know, but then there's some of us, you know, who just like are drawn to it, right? You know, like you step outside and all you see is gangbanging, drug addiction, crime. Like it's so easy to get sucked into the life, you know?
Right. And so what if you're like a normal person, right? Like you don't want to be in that lifestyle. Like, so will you get picked on? Like do they get picked on a lot out there?
I wouldn't know. I wasn't a normal person. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't know. I wasn't normal, but like yeah, like they'll test you and they'll try you. You know what I mean?
See, that's what sucks, man. Because you would think that'd be like, hey, leave that guy alone, man. He's trying to better his life. He don't need this. You know what I mean? Like you would think somebody would say that, but in my days, man, it's like you see somebody who just looks like I don't know, I'll say a square or something, right? And it's like, oh, let's pick on him, which is stupid, right? It's dumb, like you know what I mean? But I wonder if they did that a lot out there. That's why people just have to just choose this life.
Yeah. Like I know for me, like they tried it a lot, right? Like I used to stay quiet. Like I had 4 brothers, so like my brothers always like had my back, you know. But like, no lie, like I used to get picked on, you know what I mean? Because like you can, like I look softer, you know, like so. Fools would just try me, you know, and like I remember like initially like I was just like not confrontational, like I would walk away and shit. Then they got me once I was fucked up, you know what I mean? And like all it took is for me to take flight on one fool and like stand up one time, and after that I realized like you win some, you lose some, but you go out fighting, you know? Yeah. And that's when like I was like, nah, because like otherwise these motherfuckers were gonna continue to do it.
Right,
you know?
right.
So like I had no choice but to fucking fight, you know?
Yeah, man, you kind of like that now when you were doing TikTok, man. I was like, don't step and tell this dude anything, man. I'm telling you, because he's gonna clap back and hurt your feelings, bro. And I've been seeing a lot of videos like that back in the day. I was like, oh shoot, man, hey man, you were but hilarious, bro, funny. You still make me laugh. The videos that you do, your laugh, bro, is contagious. What?
Hey, some people like my laugh, some people hate it. A lot of people are like, oh, why does he laugh like that? What's wrong? I'm like, he's still watching. Like,
like they think it's annoying or some shit. Like, I like it though. You're I love it though, bro. I love it though. That's funny.
Bro, you sound like Goofy.
I'm sorry. Nah, man, but no, you're a funny guy, bro. Your videos, man, could just make my day. You know what I mean? So what got you into doing TikTok, bro?
You know what? Like, it all happened during COVID, bro. Like, so when COVID first kicked off, like, I started posting nothing but memes on TikTok, right? Like, nothing but memes.
Right.
And then, like, I don't know, like, one day, you know, like, I was just going through a difficult time, like, you know, thinking about the shit I had been through as a kid, you know, like, you know, the sexual abuse, the trauma, like, the abandonment issues, like, everything, right? And I was like, let me talk about it, you know? Let me fucking talk about it. So I just started talking about it, you know what I mean? And I started sharing my story on social media, you know? And then, like, you know, like, I started, like, before I started doing that, like, I would do, like, those singing videos, you know, like now I watch those videos, bro, and I cringe. I'm like, oh hell no, you know, but
Yeah.
like, you know, like I'm able to see like how like my presence on social media like changed, right? It went from memes to like little singing videos to just talking about recovery and trauma and abuse and shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
And what kept it going was the freedom I gained from talking about the abuse,
Yes.
you know, from talking about my experiences as a child, you know.
Right.
The more I talk about it, the more
You
it
felt
takes
free?
its power away.
Yeah, you felt free, right? The chains are coming off. The chains are being ripped off, man. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, because I'm now coming out with certain things. Like I had an interview not too long ago, and I was saying things I never thought I would say on an interview because I thought I wasn't ready to say something. You know, I got more stories, but it's just like I'm not ready yet. But you know, you get to this point in life where you're okay. It's okay to express it and let people know what's going on because there's somebody out there that's listening and they think they're alone right now. So you're at a place right now. You're at a good place to express that. And you're probably changing lives and you don't even know it. I promise, even after this segment, somebody's going to listen to this and they're going to be like, man, this was great. I'm glad that I'm not the only one, you know. Not that, you know, they wish anything bad on you or anybody else. It's just that, you know, sometimes you feel alone, bro. And you know what I mean. That part.
Yeah, and people have hit me up, you know, like I was talking about it. Some girl hit me up and she was like, hey, I went to my first meeting of Narcotics Anonymous because of you. Thank you for giving me the information, you know. And she just told me she celebrated 9 months clean, bro, you know. So like even if you touch one person, you know, one person, that's enough. That's a whole life, you know, a whole life, you know. And that's what people did for me, right? Like people carried that message of recovery. Like people guided me, you know, people fed me, people who walked with me on my journey, you know, in one way or another. So I just try to, you know, do the same thing in a sense, you know.
Well, every comedian has a deep past, and I'm not sure if you've done. I'm not saying that you do stand up, which I think you should. I hope you do one day. I'll be rooting for you, man. People telling me I should do it too, and maybe one day, but I think I'll be scared to get booed or something. I don't know, though. Like, but I see you doing that. I could see you going on stage and making people laugh, bro. Just take that into consideration, brother, because you are funny. You are funny. And with that, man, I think a lot of people, man, they have something deep. You know what I mean? They, you know, and you're one individual that I've talked to, and you shared a little bit about the stuff that you've been through in your life. Can we talk about that? Are you comfortable with that, brother? Like,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what we're here for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
you know?
Man.
Like I was thinking about like how, like, you know, how to share my story or how to even have this conversation earlier, you know, and nothing goes out how I plan it, you know. So it's just lo que salga salga, right? Whatever comes out,
right?
You know, but so, you know, it was growing up. It was my mom and 4 brothers, right? I had an older brother and I have 3 younger brothers. You know, we lived in a studio apartment. We had like 2 bunk beds, you know, like you step off the bunk bed, you're in the bathroom, step out the bathroom, you're in the kitchen, you step out the kitchen, you're outside, bro. Like no walking room, like literally no sitting room. Like your sitting room is your bunk bed, you know?
Right.
And that is it. And that's how we grew up, but that was home, right?
Made it work.
You know, and we have, you know, like roach-infested apartments. If anybody knows LA, the majority of the apartments are roach-infested. You know, like you just flick them off of you, right?
Yeah, that's like you become a Mexican pet after a while. You know what I
mean? For real. But that was home. You know, and like my grandmother, you know, lived in the upstairs apartment. You know, so we all lived in the 3-story building. My grandma had her apartment upstairs. You know, and that was what our childhood was like. You know, you know. And like, to be honest with you, like, I don't have too many happy childhood memories from being a kid, right? Like, I don't have too many childhood memories from being a kid, porque, like, you know, like my childhood was in a sense taken away from me at a young age, right?
Yeah.
Like my grandmother was in and out of the hospital, so like when my grandmother was in and out of the hospital, my older brother used to watch us,
Right.
and I was about 6, 7, no 6, and like what ended up happening, like my older brother ended up sexually abusing me, and that went on for a cool minute, right? Like that, like he had me do stuff, like I till this day I still remember,
Yeah.
like the instances or whatever, and
Right.
my brother, he was a sick individual. He was a sick individual. He like took pleasure out of seeing me cry or seeing us cry, For
Yeah.
some reason, like I feel like he hated me, and I don't understand why. And that went on for a couple years, right? Like with
Yeah.
with nobody knowing. As a matter of fact, nobody found out till I was about 15.
Really?
Yeah. So and that how my mom found out about that was crazy within itself, right? Like so my brother ends up getting in trouble. Like he started getting high, started fucking up. So my mom sends him to live with his dad, and that's when the abuse stopped. It didn't stop because I told anybody it stopped, because he was removed from our household, right?
Right.
I used to spend the night a lot at my grandmother's apartment because it was like the same floor, like the same apartment building.
Yeah.
And around this age, I'm probably like 8, and overnight, bro, my mom is gone. Like overnight, like I wake up one morning and my mom's apartment is empty. Like she just took her clothes, and she calls us from Tijuana, and she's like, hey, I moved to Tijuana with your brothers. She's talking to my grandma, right, and me. She's like, do you want to come and live with me? And I was like, what? I was like, no, like I'm not going to fucking Mexico. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I still had some sense. Like, I love my mom and I love my brothers, but I'm not gonna leave. Like, I'm good,
Right.
And I stayed with my grandmother, and even at that, I had a sense of like abandonment. Like, damn, like you took all my brothers, you didn't take me. Like you took my brothers, you chased. She left because she wanted to be with my younger brother's, with his dad. He got deported or whatever. So I always felt like, damn, like why wasn't I good enough? Like, but she gave me the choice, right? But I don't know. At 8 years old, I don't think you should give. I don't know. Those choices, right? Like,
well, regardless of that, at that time, did you think like, man, like you felt relieved, like, or like, man, I don't have to be with my brother, or that don't?
Well, no.
You know what?
So remember, my older brother was already gone out of the picture. He went
right.
to live with his dad. So she took my 3 younger brothers. I was relieved when he was gone. Like to live with his dad, I was relieved. Like, yeah, I don't gotta deal with this fool no more. A lot of the stuff, like I just kind of like blocked it out.
Okay.
So at this point, like my mom and my brothers are living in Tijuana, you know what I mean? And my grandmother raised me. Like it was just me and her. She didn't have no money. She didn't work, so like she used to sell recuerdos, like little like quinceañera books. She used to do a lot of yard sales. She used to sell food, and we Saturday and Sunday, bro, we were outside on Pico and Union, like selling stuff,
Yeah.
Like, and it was just me and her. Every month we would go visit my mom, and we would take her a lot of stuff from the States, like for my brothers,
Right.
like foods and costales de comida, like all kinds of shit,
Yeah.
And like me staying in LA was probably the best thing for me. Unfortunately, my brothers suffered a lot. You know what I mean? My brothers, they too suffered a lot behind an abusive stepfather. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he was very abusive to them.
You weren't the only one going through it, man. You
Hell nah.
Yeah. Now, how old was your older brother at the time?
My older brother, when he was abusing me, he was probably so if I was like 6 or 7, he was probably like 13, 14.
Wow.
So technically he was still a kid. You know what I mean? He was still a kid.
Right.
And the thing is, like, I think what he did was learned behavior. I really do. I think what what he did to me was something that was done to him when he was a kid.
Wow, probably. Yeah.
And my mom's the one that says that, because my mom's the one that thinks something happened to him based on the fact that she left him in Mexico when she had to come over here illegally.
Yeah.
And she left him with the deals, out there. And just, word gets around that those deals were mañosos. You know what I mean? That they're just, So, like, my mom hates when I say this, but I'm like, damn, Mom, we have it all in the family. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you have a drug addict, you have a murderer, and you have a molester. She's like, shut your fucking mouth. Sorry, excuse my language.
No, you're good.
She's like, cállate. But it's true, And you know what? Despite it all, bro, despite everything that my older brother did, like, I don't hate him. I don't fucking hate him. Wow. I just know that I haven't had contact with him since I was 15. You know what I mean? When I came out and I didn't even come out and told my mom, like, it slipped out.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have no contact with him, and I haven't had. But, I recently found out from, like, his baby mom and his kids that he might have passed away, in Mexico.
That he?
Like, that he might have been, that he died. Like, they think he's dead because nobody's heard from him in over a year now, which is unlike him.
Wow. And those situations, right? Because I always hear, especially in Mexico, it's like they're gone. Like, did the cartel take them? Like, it's always that, or did something really happen? Or, but it's crazy how adults like that just end up missing over there. It's crazy.
Yeah. He would check in on his kids, every so often, and they haven't heard from him at all. From my understanding, he had a friend that would go visit him frequently, and the friend has gone to look for him on a few occasions, and he's just nowhere to be found, And I guess, and what I'm trying to get at is that when I found out about him possibly missing, like, my heart broke. I felt sadness only because he never got the help he needed. He, not that he didn't have ample opportunity to get his life together and get his shit together, right, but he didn't, I think we pay for everything we do here on earth, and one of his things, like he got in a car accident, he almost died, lost an eye, had to learn how to walk, and like life dealt him some shitty ass cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I'm a strong believer in, like, that we pay for everything we do here on earth,
I don't know why, but it's like, I don't really believe that, because it's like, I guess even innocent people, like children and certain people, pass away over the craziest things, right? And it's like, how they always say karma, right? Karma, and it's just, I don't believe in karma. I just believe shit happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I think I'd rather believe in that than hell.
I know what you mean. I get it 100%. And sometimes I think God allows certain things to happen, like tests and certain things like that, or a wake-up call. I believe in all that, you know what I mean? But some people really believe in that karma, like, that's what you get, what you deserve, or your kid deserve, no, like, it just, sometimes I believe in second chances and things like, but it depends on the situation for me too. Again, I'm only human, right? Like, like if it's a child molester, believe me, for me, like, no, I don't. You do it once, no, hell no, I don't like child molesters. That's between you and God. If he decides to say, hey, I'm gonna give my life to Christ and do better, that's between you and God. That's good, but I'm not gonna shake your hand. I'm sorry, I'm still human. I'm sorry. That part, right? But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, brother.
And it's funny that you said that, because my older brother did reach out to my mom, I want to say a few years ago, right? And about 6-7 years, no, probably like 8 years ago. And my mom's like, Hera, Angel reached out to me, and I'm like, okay. She's like, how do you feel? I'm like, look, Mom, that's your son. You know what I mean? You backed me up, and you believed me, and you didn't question me, and you didn't doubt me, this far in the game, and where I'm at in life now, that's your son. Like, I'm not going to get in the way of you having a relationship with him, but whatever you do, just don't get me involved. Like, how can I put it? Like, I don't wish harm upon him or bad upon him. I just don't want him in my life, and I get to choose that. Right. I just don't want to carry, like, I can forgive, but that doesn't mean I would ever want to associate with him, if that makes sense.
No, 100%.
I killed myself a lot. I killed myself a lot behind the abuse with my brother. I killed myself a lot behind the abuse with the priest. Right. It just, like, it was too much, and I refuse to continue to give these people the power to hurt me, right? Like, if I continue to fuck up my life because of what I went through, I'm still giving them all the power. Yeah. They still have that control over me.
Right.
And I they don't have it no more. Nobody has that anymore. Yeah.
Right. No, 100%, man. I think for me too, it's like, my dad, he passed away. My mom passed away. My dad was murdered. My mom died when I was 8 days old in a car accident. And, growing up, I learned to just forgive. I learned, I forgive you. I'm not gonna shake your hand or hang out with you. Just know that because for me, biblically, man, you want God to forgive you for your sins. You gotta forgive the brother for their sins, right? I do believe in in that, and I'm not saying that I want you to be like, I'm not preaching to you. It just, that was for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it made me feel good, Hera. It made me feel good that I can, at least, I'm free from that. Like, look, man, I forgive. It feels good inside because now those chains are being broken. They're being broken. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you're talking about the priest. What happened with that? What?
So, like, that was another story, right? So, like, so remember my grandma. My mom is Mexico. My grandma was a devout Catholic, right? St. Thomas the Apostle, right there on Pico and Normandy, or Pico and Mariposa, those streets or whatever. And my grandma used to go to church Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, bro. Like, she was just devout. And she used to take me with her. And when I was a kid, like, I loved going to church. I mean, like, I loved it. Like, I felt safe. I felt secure. And I loved being with my grandmother.
Right.
So it was just me and her. I met a man in the church. And I asked him if he would be my dad. Like, as cheesy as it is. Like, I didn't have a father figure, and he was like, of course, and I owe a lot. Actually, I owe a lot to this man. Like, I'm extremely grateful for Noel, you know what I mean? Like, right. He was a father figure, in a sense, right? Like, they put me in the Catholic school, right? Like, he paid my tuition. Wow. And like, he started paying for my tuition for the Catholic school, and I did everything. Like, I did that. I was an altar boy. Like, I mean, when I tell you I love church, like, I love church, Yeah. And like, being an altar boy, like, and being in church so often, and then going to the church school, like, unfortunately, like, you're exposed to who we think are men of God, right? Who we think are sacred human beings in a sense, and no human being is sacred, but right. With the priest, like, I met the priest in confession, and like, if you commit a sin, you have to confess in order to take the sacrament or whatever, right? The body of Christ. So the way it went down, like, I had messed around with some girl, and I was like, I need to confess my sins, right? So I went to confession, and I was confessing, and when I confessed to what I had done, like, he started asking, like, explicit questions, right? Like, so what happened, and what happened, and what happened, Right. And, like, just, like, very inappropriate questions, right? So I was like, what the fuck, And I'm 12, bro. Like, I'm 12 years old,
And you felt that. You felt like
Yeah,
something
like you
weird about
felt
it.
it. Hey, I'll be honest, bro. Not only did you feel it, but you can see it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you can see, and I was like, "What the fuck?" You know. So I end up taking off. You know, like confession's over. I leave or whatever. Like he even hugged me, bro, as I was leaving confession, right? And I go home. I think nothing of it. Like whatever. My grandma's still in and out of the hospital. She had a lot of medical complications. I'm still going to this private school, and out of nowhere, this priest is at my house. You know, like out of nowhere, like he weaseled his way into our apartment. You know, and like
This same
he's
priest.
preaching. The same priest, the same priest. You know, he's in. I get home from school, and he's sitting there talking to my grandmother.
What?
Yeah, you know, and to my grandmother, like God bless her soul, you know, there's a priest taking interest in
So
us.
let me
you know
ask
what
you
I
something.
mean?
I don't know if you remember. Like, so were you in a confession box when that happened, or he knew what you looked like, or what?
Yeah, no, so no, they don't really hardly do confession box. They didn't hardly do confession boxes back then. To be honest with you, at that church, they didn't have the confession box. So he knew what I looked like. And remember, I was an altar boy, and I was going to that Catholic school, St. Thomas. So all three things are connected. Like I mean, they are all within a block. So I'm sure he's seen me. You know what I mean? And like I don't know, like he's just at the house, you know. And he starts offering my grandmother food, like, do you know, have you guys ate, you know? And like we didn't have much, you know, we didn't have much, so like we didn't always have food in our fridge, you know. And my grandma was like, no. He'd be like, he was Colombian, you know, Fernando Lopez. Like you could look all this shit up too, you know. And he was like, all right, well, I'll take you to get food or whatever, you know, like earning the trust, you know. Well, those car rides to get food, you know, ended up being the places where the abuse began taking place, in the car.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? In the car. And it happened for a cool minute, right? Like I think about it now, right? Like I'm like, people, I don't know, like too trusting. Like why would you trust your 12-year-old, anybody, you know, to go off with some random adult? Like I wouldn't be okay with my daughter taking off with a fucking 40-year-old man, no matter the circumstances, you know. Right. Let alone a 12-year-old child. I don't know. It's crazy.
Is it because like, oh, he's a priest, he's a man of God?
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what it was. I think, you know, it was because in her eyes, she was a devout Catholic, and she couldn't do no wrong, you know, and any of that. Right. You know. Man. So the abuse went on for a while, and at this time, like when I'm being, you know, abused by this priest or whatever, right? I'm still not fucking up, bro. Like I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like this all happened when I was still innocent, bro. Like at 12 years old, like I'm still in a sense trying to figure like my childhood out, you know? Yeah. And what ended up fucking happening was in this period, my grandma gets even more sick, you know, the abuse continues to take place while I started smoking weed, you know what I mean? And weed is what gave me the courage to say no and put a stop to the abuse. Being under the influence, I still remember the last time he tried to do something. I flipped out because I was stoned, and I slammed that car door and I said, "You're never fucking touching me again." And I slammed the car door so hard the fucking glass shattered, bro. Wow. You know, and the next day I went to that Catholic school. I walked into the office and I told them, I don't want to come back to this school. You know, and everybody was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I don't want to come back. And I flipped out in the office. I was like, I don't want to come here. I don't want to come here. They called, you know, the guy that was paying my tuition. They called my grandmother. They were asking for an explanation, like, what's going on? Why don't you want to attend this school? I felt at that time that I needed to put a distance between myself and that church. Right. And that's what I did. I was able to put a distance between myself and the church. They put me into middle school, Berendo Middle School right there by Vermont,
Yeah.
and the abuse stopped. The abuse stopped, and I didn't have to deal with him no more. I still didn't tell anybody anything, like nothing.
But your grandma knew about it, though, right? Or you didn't?
No, nobody knew about the abuse.
Oh.
My grandmother died not knowing, lyrics.
Wow, I'm sorry. Damn.
It was like, but catch this, like it all, like the way the way my story plays out, and the way just things happen. Like I didn't tell nobody. Like, so my grandmother, the abuse had stopped with the priest. I had started using, right, and when I was 15, my grandmother was really sick. Me and my younger brother were fighting, and he was like, that's why you got fingered when you were a kid, and I looked at him and I said, yeah, motherfucker, by our older brother. And my mom looked at me and she was like, what did you say? And I looked at her and I ran out of the apartment. See, the thing is, lyrics, my brother used to do that in front of my younger brothers.
Yeah.
So it, like, they remember it, but it was tucked in the back of their head. You're probably gonna have to put a trigger warning on this thing, bro. You don't want to trigger some people, but like that's how it came out. Like, it accidentally slipped out, know. And my mom didn't question me. My mom didn't say anything. Like, she didn't say, how did it happen? Where, like, I think deep down she knew, like, off the top,
right,
that I wasn't right,
Yeah.
So when my brother tried reaching out to my mother, my mom told him, like, forget you have a mother and forget you have brothers. If you come near us, I'm pressing charges. At this point, so if I'm 15, my older brother's already in his 20s.
Yeah.
Already had a wife and kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my grandma ends up passing away. My grandmother ends up passing away from cancer, right? And that's when I start tweaking. Fuck. Yeah. That's when I start tweaking, and with the priest, the way that came out, he had other victims, right? And one day we're sitting there, fucking smoked out the game, and he comes out on the TV. Wow. Like, someone else reported him. I didn't report him.
Yeah.
So I look at the TV, my mom looks at me, I look at my mom, and I dip out. I was gone. Like, my mom was like, Hera, and I left. Like, I didn't even say nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I was gonna take that shit to my grave, bro. Like, I was too busy getting high. Like, my life became the pipe. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't care about that. Like, in my head, I had already overcome it. Mind you, I was getting high and smoked out the fucking game.
Yeah, when for those who never done drugs, it's like, it's a numb. Like, right? You numb the world. You numb everything. Like, that's what basically what drugs could do for you. That's why people still do it. It's just like,
exactly.
They're trying to run away from from everything. That's their escape. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. So so he's on the TV. I dip out. I continue getting high, and I'm not thinking about this viejo at all. I'm not thinking about the church. My life became all about drugs. That was it. All about drugs and how I was gonna get that next one. Nothing else mattered. When I tell you I was a bottom of the barrel junkie, and that my world revolved around smoking dope and getting high, that is what my life had become. And it spiraled really quick. I went from smoking weed to tweaking every single day, like weeks without sleep, right? And that was just my story. So anyways, the viejo's on TV. Like, a few weeks later, I haven't slept for like 2 weeks, bro, or a week, and I'm laying there just knocking out, and I hear a knock on the door, and it was some detectives, and they were like, hey, we're looking for Gerardo. And I was like, still like half asleep, right, like just about to zone out, and I hear them say the priest's name, Fernando Lopez, and I flip out. Like, I just start throwing shit. I'm like, get the fuck out. My mom pushes them out of the apartment. And she comes in and she's like, Hera, what happened? I'm like, what are they here for? Like, why are they asking questions? She's like, why are you acting like this? Did something happen? Yeah. And I was like, no. And she's like, Hera, if something happened, you need to tell them. right? You need to tell them. And I was like, fuck, hold on, leave me alone. Right? I went to the bathroom, I got high, I came back out, and I'm like, okay, so what do you guys want? And they asked me the questions, bro, and I just like vomited. Like, I mean, I told them everything, you know? And they asked me, would you be willing to go to the station? And I was like, no. And they were like, we need you. Like, we need your
testimony.
What is it called? Yeah, that, you know what I mean? We need you to testify, you know?
Right.
And like, I'm smoked out. I ain't trying to do none of that shit. I'm just trying to get high, you know?
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck it, let's go. So I go, you know, and like, because of all the details I had, like, my case was the strongest case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was able to describe stuff that nobody else would know. You know, like what his room looked like. Like, there's no reason a minor should describe what a priest's room looks like. Whatsoever. Right. Like, no normal people or adults should be in the priest's room, you know?
Right.
So I did the, you know, the testifying. They're like, would you be willing to testify in court? And I was like, absolutely not, you know? And I just, you know, it's funny, bro, because like the church pretended to be on my side. The Archdiocese of Los Angeles, right? Like, they sent a nun to talk to me, and they're like, what he did to you was wrong. You know, we need you to testify. We need you to, like, you know, make sure justice is served. Right. You know. So I agreed to do it, but remember, these court proceedings take a while, right? So in this meantime, I'm smoking dope, bro. Like, I'm getting high. You know, I'm robbing and stealing. I'm breaking into houses. Like, you know, my life was a mess. My life was a fucking mess.
You're doing whatever just to avoid the issue. You're just doing all Yeah. Wow.
So, like, the day before the preliminary trial, right? The day before the preliminary trial, the detectives are looking for me, and I'm hiding, bro. They're looking for me. I felt like they were looking for me because they was trying to arrest me. They were looking for me because they wanted me to testify.
Right.
And they end up finding me like at 6 a.m, bro, and they take me to fucking court at 8 or something, you know. And I go to the preliminary trial in some sweatpants and a hoodie, smoked out the game to testify. And like, his attorneys are ripping me a new one, right? Like, they're yelling and screaming, and I'm smoked out, you know.
Can he tell?
But let me tell you something.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, they can tell. They're like, they can fucking tell, bro. Yeah. Everybody can tell. Like that. I was not low key about it. Like, I was not. And then, you know, the jaw is moving 100 miles per hour. You know, like, it was just like, God, smoked out. You know, like, I'm testifying. They keep telling me to take my hood off. You know, like, all kinds of shit, right?
Right.
But let me tell you something. The facts are the facts, right? So I could be high, and my story will be the same as it is when I'm clean, you know, because the way it happened, right? Like, the abuse took place, this is how it happened. You can't distort that, no matter how much you raise your voice, no matter how much you yell at me, no matter how you try to switch the questions around. Like, the story's the same.
Yeah. You
know, but because I was so high, they just, you know, like, the priest, bro, was sitting there looking at me laughing as I'm testifying. Yeah, just a smirk on his face, you know, fucking, you know. And anyways, they end up, that's over the preliminary trial. You know, the church offers me rehab. Right? You know, and the church offers me rehab, and I turn it down. I'm like, no. Well, they caught me on a day that I was like really smoked out, really coming down, feeling really, really nasty, feeling really, really alone. And I called that nun, you know, and I was like, I want to go to treatment, but if you're going to put me in rehab, it needs to happen right now, you know. And they went and picked me up, and they flew me to San Jose, Scotts Valley, somewhere up there, and they placed me in a rehab for 90 days.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was there, I think, for like 60 days. I'm 15 at the time, right? Like, so this is all happening quick. I'm 15, 16 at the time, you know. And while I'm there for 60 days, it's time for the trial. And by then I had gained some weight, you know what I mean? My thoughts were more clear. Like, it was just, you know, when we get Khalid, we change, bro, right? Like, any addict can recover, and like, I mean, and your life will change, you know?
Yes.
And I showed up to testify, and I remember, like, people, you know, the priest's jaw dropped when he saw me, because it was like a completely different person, right? Like, I had a long sleeve shirt on, like I was dressed to impress, you know?
Right.
But the facts remain the same. And you know what's so fucked up about it, Lyrics?
Yeah.
Is that he got 5 years. He got 5 years, did 3 years, and he was deported back to Colombia, and that was it.
Bro, but see, you're not the only one, right? I
wasn't the only one, but all he got for, and mind you, my situation was the worst one. Like, everything he had to the other victims, it was like above the clothes and shit like that. Yeah. And like, he only got 5 years.
Wow.
Which is why, like, I get so discouraged with the system, right? Like, people, you know, they put, you know, thieves away for years. They put addicts away for years. Right. I mean, if you get caught up for gang injunction, that's a 1 year violation minimum.
Yeah.
You know, but for abusing a minor or minors, you're gonna give him 5 years. He does 3, and then he gets deported. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what's sad to say? I really feel like wherever he's at, whatever third world country he's at, I feel like he still has access to kids. Yeah. And you know what's even more fucked up? I found out a lot of stuff, right? So, because I ended up filing a civil suit in my early 20s. You know, I filed a civil suit against the church, and I won, right? Oh. But my civil suit attorneys found out a lot of the information about this priest that the church hid.
Yeah.
This priest was originally in Italy, bro. He was in Italy. He fucking got abused. I mean, he abused a minor, was charged and pled guilty to abusing a minor in Italy. And the church just moved him. They just moved him to LA.
And then, they didn't even tell people in LA, like, hey, look, this is what happened. Well, that's crazy. You should be done. You shouldn't even be a priest. Like, that's bro, it. Like,
exactly.
Go ahead, bro. That's just ridiculous, man.
Yeah, and I didn't know any of this till the civil suit attorneys. Actually, I did an interview with Dan Rather. I didn't find that out till after that interview came out.
Yeah.
I didn't find out about that till after that interview came out. Yeah, he had pled guilty in Italy, and the church just moved him, you know, without, like, you guys could have put a stop to it. Like, right then and there, he pled guilty. What more do you want? But you guys allowed him to, continue practicing, you know, which is what makes me sad, because, like, I really feel like if he's out there, like, in Colombia, El Salvador, Mexico, like, you know, places where, like, there's a lot of poverty or whatever, I feel like he's still a priest. Yeah. I really do.
Wow. Anything to get close to another kid, you know?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The system is fucked up.
You know, a lot of people always say that, you know, with, you know, priests, you know, like they give a bad rap to Catholics, right? But that's anywhere. I'm gonna tell people right now that could be anywhere. That could be at a Christian. It could be there's a lot of people like that. But I get it. I understand. The only thing I feel, because I used to be Catholic, bro. So the only thing I feel is that it's in the Bible, man. I ain't trying to preach or nothing like that, but it's in the Bible where it says, like, look, the minute you think of lust, get married. You know what I mean, right? So they should allow these priests to have a wife, to, you know, still, I guess you could still have a wife and still do those things, right? You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm not saying, I don't know if that would help or not, but it's just like the minute you think of that sin and you want to, like, start, man, I want to have some sex, whatever, like, you should get married. Like, you should. It's just, priests should get married. I think people should just, like, hey, like, I don't know, bro. But that's crazy.
I mean, I
man.
think they're just, you know, like they're just. I mean,
Or they're just monsters, man. Yeah.
They're disgusting human beings. Not priests, not all priests, right? Because
Right.
let me tell you something. One of the most kindest, most loving, most amazing human beings I've ever met was Father Greg Boyle from Homeboy Industries. If
Shout out.
He's a Jesuit priest, right? And
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with it. If you haven't, look
Homeboy
it
Industries,
up.
for sure.
Yeah, Homeboy Industries. Look them up. You know, I met him through my godfather, right? My Nino, who is an active participant in my life. Like,
Awesome.
you know, talk about suiting up and showing up. Like, my Nino has been like a father figure. God, you know what I mean?
Great job,
throughout
Nino.
the years.
Yeah.
But like Father Greg Boyle, you know, he runs Homeboy Industries, and if it wasn't for that man, I wouldn't be in life where I'm at today. Like, I wouldn't be where I'm at in my recovery if he wouldn't have gave me a chance. You know, I hit up Father Greg Boyle when I was barely trying. Like, so I had met my partner on MySpace, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at MySpace.
Vocal space, remember? Yeah, MySpace.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to find a date, you know. And like I kept, like, he didn't know how bad I was on drugs. Like, he's a fucking normie in a sense, right? Like, he's not a Malia like me, you know, like none of that.
Right.
So when we started talking, he's like, look, like, if you for us to even entertain being in a relationship, you have to get clean. Like, I can't have you around my daughter, because he had a 5-year-old daughter at the time, or has. She's 19 now.
Oh, good for him.
She's my baby too. You know what I mean? I've been in her life since she was 5. But you know, he's like, I can't have you around my kid if you're gonna be using. Like, that's not gonna happen. Yeah. My daughter will always come before you.
Good for him.
You know, so hell yeah, that shows the type of person he is. You know what I mean? The type of man, the type of father. You know,
for sure.
So I was still using, and I remember I called Father Greg Boyle, who had known me since I was a kid, you know, and I was like, hey, Pops, like, I need a reason to get up in the mornings, right? Like, I need a reason to live, like, because I had no purpose, Larry. It's like, nada, you know?
I feel you.
And he's like, come see me. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go see you, because every time I go, you tell me I'm not ready, and then you just send me on my way. Still asking, look, typical addict, asking for help but wanting it my way, right?
Right.
So,
right.
So he's like, come see me. So I went to see him, and he was like, can you test clean for me? And I was like, I can't. I said, I can't test clean for you. I said, because I got high 2 days ago. I said, but if you fucking hire me, I promise you from this day forward, I won't use again. And he hired me on the spot, bro. He's like, you start Friday. You know, and I have not used dope since then.
Congratulations, man.
I have not. That's not my clean date, but I have not used dope since then, right? It's been over 14 years now that I have not touched methamphetamine.
Well, congratulations, brother.
Gracias. I say it's not my clean date because my clean date's November 5th, 2014. Okay. You know, because I still drank for a while and I smoked weed for a while, you know, but November 5th, 2014 is my clean date off of everything. Weed, alcohol, everything.
I'm happy for you.
You know, gracias. Like, when I say I'm clean and sober, bro, I mean clean and motherfucking sober.
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, the only substances I abuse are caffeine and fucking nicotine, bro. That is it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I started smoking cigarettes about like a year and a half ago, man.
God.
But yeah, I was getting a little problems with the health, you know what I mean? But I'm better now, man. But I know even that's addicting, man. But
hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, man. Like you know, especially the things that you were doing, man. Like, that's really hard to kick.
Yeah. You know, it's been a journey, you know what I mean? It's been quite a journey. And that's what I'm saying. Like, not all priests are bad, right? Like, he took a chance on me, you know. As a matter of fact, they wanted him to testify against me, bro, you know, and he refused to do it. He refused to get involved, you know.
Wow.
And that just goes to show the type of human he is, right? You know, and I've been blessed, you know, with a lot of people like that in life, right?
Yeah.
That, you know, will do the right thing for the right reasons without expecting anything in return.
Yes.
That's why I don't put everybody in a box, right? Like, I don't say all priests are bad, or I don't say all cops are bad, or I don't, you know what I mean? Because
Right.
I've had amazing experiences. We have a lot of bad apples, you know, like a lot of people that choose to harm, but there's also a lot of people that choose to do good, right?
Right. Right.
You know, and that's where my recovery journey started, right? Like, that's where my recovery journey started, you know, was at Homeboy Industries. You know, my man took me to a meeting, you know, of Narcotics Anonymous. He said, you go in there, and I was like, fuck it. Like, I was like, the relationship, I was like, I gotta give this shit a shot, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, and it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work. Like, you know, I still go to about 3 meetings a week,
Yeah.
you know? I do
Oh, you still?
work. Still.
Wow.
Still.
It's,
I still
so
go to
when is
3
that?
meetings a week.
So for those who are listening, like, when does that end? It never ends.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't. I mean, my attendance, I used to go every single day. So
Right.
my attendance has dropped, right? Like, I go to about 3 meetings a week, but like, I do something so NA is just like AA. It's a 12-step fellowship, right?
Right.
So it's free. They don't charge, like, nothing, you know?
Right.
But it is a lifelong thing, right? Like, it is a
Right.
lifelong thing. And I'm okay with that, bro, because I got high every single day. You know what I mean? I got high every single day. So if a requirement for me to live a full life and be a full productive member of society means that I go to 3 meetings a week, then that's what the fuck I'm gonna do.
There you go.
You
I'm
know
proud
what I
of you.
mean? Bro, me and my partner were talking about retirement, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta retire where the community's good, where the recovery community is good.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're gonna be going to meetings at 80 years old. I'm like, well, it's either that or smoking crack at 80 years old. Which one do you want?
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Right.
I gotta do something for my recovery.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
Like,
you need
in
to start
recovery.
something, man. I think you need to start like a program for you, or, you know, for the youth and for, you know what I mean? I could see you doing a lot of things right now, bro. You know, doing the comedian thing. You could do it all, brother. I always feel like sky's the limit, man. So do it all, bro. You know what I mean? If you can open up something to help the youth, you know, do it, bro. Like, I see something in you, man. Like, I get it, man. The whole 3 times a week is dope. There's somebody there's somebody that needs that too. Maybe you could open up something where they could come in and have these 3 times a week too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know,
like
bro.
Like, in my town, like, you know what I mean? Like, I said, like, there's a meeting I chair, you know what I mean, and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I got service commitments, you know, like, I sponsor,
There you
I
go.
give back, I do
Yes.
all that stuff, you know
Awesome.
what I mean? Like, in the 12-step fellowship, give back, you know? Like, I have to. I have
Good.
to.
Man, just hearing this story and everything that you've been through in your life, man, you came a long way. And there's somebody.
I didn't do it alone.
Yeah, you didn't. There's a lot of angels that were around you. You know what I mean?
Hell
and the
yeah.
fact that, bro, like, I watch a lot of your videos too, and you do goof around a lot, man. But I could tell in your heart that you still love God. Like,
Hell yeah.
yeah, you do.
Like,
I could tell, brother. Like, I don't, gay or not, whatever, bro. You love God, man, and that really touches my heart, my brother. That touches my heart.
God loves me and my gay ass. Like, he don't give a fuck, bro. You know, like, I'm a strong believer that God created me as I am.
Yeah.
Just as he created you as you are. You know, like, God doesn't fucking make mistakes. You know what I mean? People always ask me this. Lyrics, this is a common question. They're like,
that part, that don't make no mistakes. Don't make no mistakes. That part.
God don't make no mistakes, you know. And people always ask me, like, do you think you were born gay, or do you think what happened to you made you gay? And I'm like, look, that's a question that I can't answer wholeheartedly.
Right.
But I know plenty of gay people that weren't abused, you know what I mean, that are now gay.
Right.
You know what I mean? For me, what I do know is that I was exposed to that at 6 years old, right?
Yeah.
So could it have fucked up something in my head? I don't know. I can't answer that. You know what I mean? But what I do know is that like I'm happy, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I know that God made me as I am. You know, I know that I am living my life to the best of my ability without hurting people. I know that I mind my own fucking business, you know? Like, if we could all mind our own business, things would be cool, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, I have a strong relationship with God, bro, and it's, you know, like, I talk to God on a daily basis, you know, and that's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, beautiful.
It's not the God that was ingrained in me as a kid. It's a God that's loving, forgiving, understanding, compassionate, non-judgmental, that accepts me for who I am, well, and brother, that works for me.
You've been through so much, right? Where you could just not believe in him. Like you've been through a lot where you could just say, I don't choose him to be my father. I don't believe in a God. But like all this that you've been through in your life, just like I have, I've been through so much, and I believe in him. You know, I think, bro, what you're doing, bro, is awesome, man. And I'm no one to judge. I love you, man. Head up, man. If nobody's ever told you that, bro, I got love for you. I love you, bro. And I hope to meet you in person, dog. You. And you a good dude, man. Like, hey, man, like, I really appreciate this interview, man. There's somebody that's listening, bro, that's either they're going through it, you know what I mean, or they recovered from it. What advice would you give them, bro?
Shit, okay, so, you know, if you guys, like, if anybody's listening and you've been abused, you've been hurt as a kid, you know, or you've been taken advantage of, like, first I want to tell you that I believe you, right? I fucking believe you. I know that what you're telling is the fucking truth. I would also encourage that you speak up, talk to somebody, tell someone something, you know, like if you're carrying this inside of you and it's eating you alive and it's, you know, draining of your energy, you don't have to talk to everybody, but you gotta talk to somebody. You gotta let that shit out. Just let it out. Take its power away. You know, if you are struggling with drug addiction, alcoholism, take your ass to a fucking meeting. Take your ass to a 12-step meeting. You know, there's nothing like the therapeutic value of one addict helping another, right? Like where if you tell someone, hey, I had a bad day, I feel like smoking crack, and they're gonna say, hey, I understand. What are we gonna do to continue staying clean another day? As opposed to you telling a normal person and they're like, damn, you bitch, you're sick. Like, what is wrong with you? You know? Find someone. Like, there's help out there. You just gotta, you know, you gotta chase that help like you chase that drug, you know? Right. And that's what I do for my recovery. You guys are not alone. I just want to say this real quick. One of the biggest things I learned in life and throughout recovery is that I'm not unique. That every single thing I've been through, every single thing, someone else somewhere in the world is going through exactly that same thing at this precise moment. I'm not unique. And it's what I do with those experiences that really is the defining outcome, right? Life is what you make it, bro.
Yeah, you're right. 100%. And you turned it around. You're everything you've been through, man. Your life, you're now like, all right, let's make it into a positive thing, man. I'm gonna live life. I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna get on TikTok and make people laugh. And if you talk shit, I'm gonna clap back. I'm proud of you, bro. Right there. I'm proud of you, man. I'm glad to have these conversations with you, man. I'm glad to talk to you, bro, and you're a homie, bro. So you know, we can always conversate. You got my number, man. You know, we follow each other. You know, thank you, bro. Thank you for jumping on this podcast, man. Can you want to let people know how they could follow you, bro?
Yeah, so pretty much it's quien eres on all platforms, right? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. It's quien eres 213, like all one word. I also want to say thank you to Lady Pink's. Oh no, wait. I want to say thank you to Lady Perps for linking us up, and also all the certified sucias, right? Yes. That's what I call all my followers on TikTok.
Sucias,
I call them certified sucias and sucios. So thank you guys for the love and support, you know. But yeah, just quien eres 213. You guys can find me right there. Check us out, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you jumping on this podcast, man, and just expressing yourself, man. I know it's not easy to do, but you did it. Thank you so much, man, for jumping on.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, brother.
Gracias.